Toyota and Honda are shutting down their factories here in the United States. Today, we'll find out why and for how long. Also, we have so much other Japanese and Korean auto news today to cover, so make sure to grab your snacks and drinks, strap yourselves in, and let's go. Honda, Toyota hit by supply chain snags here in the United States. It doesn't really come as a surprise. Pretty much everyone is being affected, but it's been slower to affect Honda and Toyota. Let's get into exactly what's plaguing them right now. Honda said late Tuesday supply chain issues forced a halt to production at a majority of US and Canadian auto plants for a week. Toyota said a severe cold front last month, and we all know Texas and the South froze over last month, so that doesn't come as a surprise. But it's their supply of petrochemical products, which could be a myriad of things. Plastics is what comes to mind when I think petrochemical, but it could probably also be adhesives, paints, you name it. So for Honda, this will affect all US and Canadian plants, and also talking about the congestion at various ports, apparently especially on the West Coast, of things coming in. I believe it was around Oakland as well. Huge backups there in the ports on the West Coast. And of course, we all know about the microchip shortage that most of these manufacturers are suffering from. Not Toyota. Toyota is suffering from petrochemical reasons. For Toyota, not all of their plants are affected, but several days in Kentucky, West Virginia, and Mexico. And just as a reminder, they produce the Tacoma completely in Mexico now, so that production could be affected. And Kentucky produces a ton of vehicles, from the Lexus ES to the Avalon, the Camry. I think the RAV4 is even there. I'll just put a list of everything they produce in Kentucky. And then for the Honda plants, we're talking Ontario, Ohio. Ohio comes to mind, especially when we're talking about Acura, Alabama, Indiana. However, the Mexico operations have not been announced for any production cuts. Honda typically produces about 30,000 vehicles a week. That's crazy. It's kind of a mind-blowing stat. In the United States and Canada combined, I would say the vast majority of that is going to be affected. But for Honda's sales, they've been kind of in a slump lately, so I don't think it's going to affect them that bad, at least right now. We're going to shift gears here over at the Toyota European newsroom. Earlier this week, one of the two, I debunked how Toyota's new vehicle is not the electric vehicle we've been waiting for. It's just going to be an Aygo Cross, and here it is. Aygo Cross Prologue. Nothing really to say here. It's all designer talk. This is not the official vehicle. This is still a concept, but you can probably bet that this vehicle in production version is going to look like 90+% the same to this vehicle. So we're just going to flip through the images and just leave it there. Lobster claws on the front lights. I don't know how I feel about these hexagonal. That might be the right word. Hexagonal fog lights. I don't see that making it to the production version. On the back, this just looks like a Volvo to me, at least with the design of the rear tail lights. But looking at it from this angle, it reminds me of that Lexus concept we got. I think it was like in 2016. Can't think of it off the top of my head, but it looks really similar. It's interesting that we're seeing those design cues more in a Toyota than we have in a Lexus product. Just going to keep flipping through. Not a whole lot to see here. Big wheels. Hopefully they're able to outfit it with all-wheel drive. We don't have any information on powertrains, pricing, availability, when this vehicle will actually be out. I would say the actual vehicle will probably be out in about a year from now, so early 2022. But yeah, hopefully, like I said, it stays as much like this as possible with the design. I think it's cute. I think it's attractive. Don't know how I feel about the paint scheme, the two-tone paint scheme, but I'll definitely get some eyes on it. And if it had all-wheel drive, I know that's probably unrealistic, but they raised it up. It has better ground clearance, so maybe that'll allow them to tunnel a drive shaft to the rear wheels. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? And we're just going to move on because there's not much to say about it. The Kia Stinger has some updates for the 2022 model year. I believe Korea got these updates earlier last year. So we're finally getting here in the United States. And I'm just going to read through the highlights here. Still the same car. It's not a full redesign, just updating it. And the biggest update is on the base car. They're replacing the 2-liter turbo with a 2.5-liter turbo. This is a gain of 45 horsepower. We're now getting 300 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque out of this 2.5 turbo on this base model. It has new LED exterior lighting, new wheels, and more aggressive quad exhaust design, which I'm not a big fan of this quad exhaust design because if you look closer, you can see how they're just fake tips on the outside to make it look way bigger than it is. It almost looks like the Acura TLX Type S or the Nissan GTR with those fat circular quad tips, except the quad tips on these Stingers, as you get closer, they look really, really fake and cheesy in my opinion. The twin turbo V6 got a 3 horsepower bump, so it's now 368 horsepower. Has an electronically controlled exhaust for you guys to enjoy different volumes of the exhaust note. Maybe that also increases the power. But yeah, just a 3 horsepower gain on the twin turbo V6. On the interior, they now black gloss, yippee, and chrome garnishes in the cockpit. A new standard 10.25 inch navigation display. That's nice. And we have an enhanced LED mood lighting with Napa leather seat design. I guess that's always good to update your cars with ambient lighting. Not necessary, definitely a luxury thing, but a lot of people appreciate that. And they increased the safety features, which no one really cares about. So I'll put the link in the description for the new Stinger if you want to learn more about the packaging, the GT line, GT1, GT2 trims. There's going to be a new Scorpion special edition later this year, but I'll leave it there on that vehicle. Not a whole lot has changed other than the 2.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder replacing the 2 liter 4. And here we are at the Hyundai news page this time. We have the new Tucson inline and the plug-in hybrid models. Now, there's not a whole lot of information on the inline other than them detailing the exterior and the interior changes. We got a couple pictures of it. I really like the wheels. I think the wheels, they look like a snowflake. I know that doesn't have the greatest social terms nowadays, but I think it's really cool. I think it's a good design. And I actually like it better than most of the Genesis wheel designs coming out. So well done there on this Hyundai Tucson inline. We have some updates on the plug-in hybrid Tucson. It should be able to get 32 miles of all-electric range. The battery is 13.8 kilowatt hours, and it should be able to charge with a level 2 charging system from 0 to full in 2 hours. That's pretty darn quick. It is a smaller battery, definitely smaller than the RAV4 Primes, which is an 18.1 kilowatt hour battery, but it's very different from the Toyota hybrid. This plug-in hybrid is a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine with a 6-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive of course, and then when you're not running on full electric, it gets about 30 miles per gallon. It's pretty nice, and it can tow 2,000 pounds. Wasn't expecting that. And to finish things up, I thought this article was kind of funny. This is from the Japan Honda news site. Robot mower grass Miimo pre-released on homepage. Now the maximum working range is 4,000 meters squared. I'll put what that is in feet squared, but I just thought it was cool. I particularly don't like mowing my lawn. Now that I live in Florida, my lawn is about 1/5 of the size as it was in Nebraska, so I'm grateful for that. But I just wanted to share that cute little Honda self-propelled robot of the future. Guys, I'll leave it there. How do you think these shutdowns are going to affect Toyota and Honda? I mean, we've been used to limited supply ever since COVID hit, so I don't think really the dealers are going to blink twice. I don't think the consumers are going to know much different, at least if they've been in the market for a year. Supply's been limited for a while, guys, but it's yeah, this week, maybe the next couple of weeks are going to be hard hit for the domestic Japanese automobiles, if that makes sense. So guys, I'll leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. If you made this around the video, smash the like button, subscribe for more Japanese and Korean auto news. Heading to Sebring this weekend, I'll probably make a poll on what you guys want to see, what kind of coverage you would like to see when I go to Sebring for the Lexus 12-hour race. It's going to be amazing. I'll leave it there. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.